Hi, I'm Rishi.
And I'm Renzo.
And we love giant monsters.
If you're like me, and I know I am, you like giant monster movies too.
Did Godzilla ever appear in comics? And if so, how did that go?
We're glad you asked that.
So many comics.
He showed up in Marvel Comics in the 1970s.
They got doujinshis, which are fan comics. They got stuff made in America. He fought Marvel Comics.
Well, and then there was a really good run in the 90s from Dark Horse, which followed the design of the Heisei Godzilla from the 90s films.
I mean, even as early as the first Godzilla films, they were doing in Japan, like, little tie-in manga. But,
Godzilla's always had a pretty good presence in comics. And recently he made a huge comeback through IDW a few years ago, about, what, like 2010 or so?
yeah.
And they've had some Godzilla series that are good, some that are not so good. A really great Godzilla comic that I don't think we have
We don't have here with us.
We don't have here with us, but you should check out if you really love comics and you love Godzilla, is Godzilla Half-Century War. James Stokoe did the art for that.
The art. It's incredible.
Well, he did the art, the story, everything. It's awesome.
He didn't do the story.
Oh, he didn't do the story?
I don't think he did the story.
Smartphone. I was saying, Half-Century War, written and drawn by James Stokoe, is pretty much the best Godzilla comic ever.
He gives, like, a ferocity to his kaiju.
But also, it's a really cool story because it follows a guy who first encounters Godzilla in the 50s, over the course of the next 50 years, with every time he's encountering him alongside, other giant monsters, and just his war to try to destroy Godzilla.
And they bring in Space Godzilla, Gigan, Mothra,
Mecha Godzilla,
Hedorah.
Just the works in that comic.
I would like, if I had to pick like the great American Godzilla artists, I would definitely say Art Adams, but I would say James Stokoe gave his very unique stamp to the character.
I feel James Stokoe, on the whole, did the single best sequential story on paper of Godzilla, period.
But there have even been lots of doujinshi or fan comics releasing Godzilla. This one's Godzilla Legend by MASH, which was the alias of Shinji Nishikawa, and this was originally just a Godzilla fan comic about what if people lived in a world where the Godzilla monsters were like tiny creatures, like you have cats, you have dogs, it's about knee size.
Wait. So I could go to a pet store and adopt a baby Gamera.
You could go to a pet store, they're kind of like all over the place. But then if like you find a dead one and you dissect it, there's a little man inside of it and it's like a suit.
That's freaky.
I know!
Wait, hold on. Let me see the
But then Toho was so impressed by this comic that Nishikawa was hired by Toho, and he helped design creatures like Biollante and the 2000s Mechagodzilla Kiryu. There have been tons of different manga adaptations of Godzilla. Just about every Godzilla movie has had at some point a manga tie-in to go with it. With the American
Godzilla King of Monsters
comic put out by Marvel, we see him tangling with Nick Fury and the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
The funny thing about that was when Marvel lost the license to the character, they actually kept that version of Godzilla running around the universe. At first miniaturized, because, S.H.I.E.L.D. shrunk him and stuff, but he's no longer called Godzilla in the comic, and he's drawn slightly different. Like, his plates on his back aren't rounded now, they're kind of flat. And I forgot what they changed his name to, but he showed up in an issue of X-Men a couple of years ago, and Archangel just, like, kicked his ass.
They call him, like, something like Kraken or something along
something
like
stupid.
Generic.
Something lame. Where it's like, okay, that's Godzilla, haha, but not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they have him fight Red Ronin, and did he ever fight Big Hero 6? Or did they not exist yet?
Big Hero 6 was
See
the 90s.
Big Hero 6 in theaters, put out by Disney.
Shameless.
Yeah. Hey, you gotta get those ad revenue somehow.